And we are joined over the phone by Mr. Ahmed Seddik, Egyptologist, and he is going to talk to us more about the importance of this archaeological discovery. Good afternoon, Mr. Ahmed.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So, sir, what is the significance of this archaeological discovery in North Sinai?
Well, let me fortify my statement, pun intended, to begin with, and say that Tel Abu Seifi is not just a fort. It's a philosophy in stone.
Yes.
Nestled on Egypt's eastern edge, this site reveals that true protection does not come from walls alone, but from the pulse of a living system. So here we find not only barracks and moats, but roads, kilns, homes. And the idea is, in defending Egypt, the ancients did not merely station soldiers. They built a functioning military, industrial, residential hub. So it was a place to produce, to live, and to defend. In other words, to secure the homeland, they first made it thrive. So you had to protect the nation's heart, one must give life to its limbs. So this is the idea and the ideal for the newly discovered fortifications.
And what do the new findings reveal about ancient Egypt?
Well, it shows continuity in a nutshell, because Sinai is not alien to fortification and attack, of course, and that's why you need the fortification in the first place. So if you go back in time to the Middle Kingdom, you have Amenemhat. Later in the New Kingdom, we had Ramses and his father, Seti, and then you go into the Greeks and the Romans. And this discovery altered the way we see the Greco-Roman presence in Egypt. No longer mere inheritors of pharaonic might. They emerge now as planners, fortifiers, and builders of continuity. Because Tel Abu Seifi reveals their understanding that to protect a land, you must do more than guard it. You must live in it, invest in it, and build within it. So this is a new mindset. So it's not just the discovery of the artifacts, like we have a layered site, part barracks, part factory, part home, but you see a new model of frontier defense. A model where military might, economic production, and social structure were braided together into a single strategic vision. And this is actually what Egypt is doing now. So you can see the continuity, not just from the pharaonics, but the Greeks, the Romans, and what we are doing now in Sinai.
And what does this discovery tell us about Egypt's military strategy in ancient times?
So the strategy is quite clear, even though it was forgotten in the ruins, like in the sand. But now we see this living legacy of resilience, design, and imperial foresight.
Yes.
So to understand how the ancients fortified Egypt's frontier, we learn not just about walls and moats, but about vision, adaptation, and the endurance of civilization. So it's all connected. You're not just sending soldiers towards the horizon, but they live there and they thrive. They are well invested in the place. You see, so this is the vision and the strategy that you live and thrive in the place that you are going to protect. This is a legacy that's layered, a legacy of vigilance, of voice, turned into stone.
And do you expect more archaeological discoveries in this area?
Yes, absolutely. And you never know what the sands will hide in the way of mystery. So you have so many layers, and as archaeologists, we have to be players on many layers. But just imagine the depth, especially in this vulnerable location. Egypt early on kept, so to speak, the eyes peeled, and eyes on the enemy, eyes on the here and now, and eye on eternity.
So how might this discovery change our understanding of ancient Egyptian borders?
As I have mentioned, the Egyptian border is, you cannot allow your border to be volatile and wait for the attack. And that's why you turn your strategy, you turn your vision into an urban vision. That's why you have not just a military complex, but a residential, industrial, military complex. It's a whole city. And then the mind of the city is actually moved there So you have the mind of Pharaoh, this pharaonic vision, and now continued and enhanced by the Greeks and the Romans, lived there. So it is not a momentary fortification, not a tentative fortification, rather a permanent residential military industrial complex.
So, sir, also, if we talk about Saqqara necropolis, and this area is also full of archaeological discoveries and archaeological sites, do you expect also more discoveries in this area?
Are we now moving from Sinai to Saqqara?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Saqqara is this is like the largest necropolis in Egypt. So there. And even though we have been discovering like non-stop, making from the golden age of discoveries until today, I can say that Saqqara is a pristine, it's a virgin site.
Yes.
There is so much to give, and you will see that the upcoming days, months, and years will surprise us. Saqqara is a place of magic and mystery. With all the dynasties, all the kingdoms, from pre-dynastic, from prehistoric times. Then you have the age of the pyramid builders. So you go into Middle, New Kingdom, and then the Greeks, the Romans, and before that the Persians. All of this, and even the Coptic. You know, there are Christian legacy there, Christian monuments in Saqqara, and then the Muslim continuity, and now, of course, given that it's one of the finest archaeological sites that attract tourists and scholars from around the world, it's also, we are living there now as archaeologists and scholars. We live in Saqqara, so Saqqara is living through us.
And sir, how can we promote for all these archaeological discoveries for Egypt?
Frankly, Saqqara and all our magic sites are promoting themselves, and you know, students and children throughout the world study Egypt. This is like the first chapter, just like the discoveries we are talking about in Sinai. This is a new chapter unfolding, but the first chapter you are introduced to as a child throughout the world is Egypt. So Egypt is the genesis of civilization, the dawn of history. So all we need to do is just to preserve. We need to consolidate and fortify our efforts to preserve what we have. But we don't need much promotion. We need to preserve what we have, because we have so many treasures, and our focus should be on preserving those treasures.
Yes, finally, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Ahmed Seddik, Egyptologist. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of our program, Cairo Local Time. Thank you for watching.